More is being learned about the suspect in a CEO's killing. A wildfire is racing through Malibu. And we'll tell you what it would mean if daylight saving time ended forever. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, December 11th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. The suspect in the United Healthcare CEO's killing will fight extradition. It could take weeks before Luigi Mangione can be moved from Pennsylvania to New York. The 26-year-old is charged with murder in the killing of healthcare executive Brian Thompson in New York City last week. He was arrested in Pennsylvania on Monday after being recognized eating at a McDonald's. He's also charged with crimes in that state. Meanwhile, more details are coming to light about Mangione and the killing. Police said he may have used a 3D-printed ghost gun. These are weapons that are typically assembled at home. And people who knew Mangione before the killing have been talking about their shock at his alleged actions. They remembered him as a bright, intelligent, and well-liked star student, and they described how his life had been changed by worsening back pain. Friends said they lost track of him this year, and his mother had filed a missing person report. Mangione's defense attorney Thomas Dickey spoke to the press yesterday.
If you're an American, you believe in the American criminal justice system, you have to presume him to be innocent. And none of us would want anything other than that if that were us in those shoes. And so I'm glad he has some support.
To learn more about this story, listen to the latest episode of our afternoon news podcast, Post Reports. It explains why some on the internet have celebrated Thompson's death. Number 2. Donald Trump's pick for a key Justice Department role has alarmed civil rights leaders. Harmeet Dillon would oversee federal efforts on anti-discrimination and voting rights cases. She's a fierce Trump loyalist who supported his baseless claims of widespread fraud in the 2020 election. The attorney has also voiced opposition to corporate diversity initiatives, transgender rights, and coronavirus lockdown policies. So top civil rights leaders are concerned about her selection. Some warned yesterday that her ideological views could take precedence over the enforcement of legal protections for marginalized groups. They said Dillon's positions are antithetical to the mission of the Justice Department, which was founded in 1870 to protect the voting rights of Black Americans. Number 3. Israel expanded its airstrikes on Syria. Competing forces are racing to take advantage of a power vacuum in Syria following the overthrow of dictator Bashar al-Assad this past weekend. One of those forces is Israel. The Israeli military said it had carried out 350 strikes on Syrian territory since Sunday. It said it had destroyed weapons sites and effectively eliminated the Syrian Navy. The U.S. said it would back a Syrian-led political transition, as long as it results in an inclusive and non-sectarian government that supports the rights of minorities. Meanwhile, people in Syria are continuing to desperately search Assad's military prisons for their loved ones. Tens of thousands of people disappeared in those prisons over decades of authoritarian rule. But families are starting to lose hope that many more survivors will be found. Number 4. A fast-moving wildfire is sweeping through Malibu. The Franklin fire prompted evacuations along a large swath of the California coast yesterday. An estimated 20,000 people were forced from their homes. That includes celebrities like Cher and 99-year-old Dick Van Dyke. Students at Pepperdine University sheltered in place, and the fire destroyed an unknown number of houses. Videos of the wildfire show a hazy red and apocalyptic scene. Malibu resident Fred Roberts spoke about the fire's destruction.
This is a notorious area. The wind's coming straight down Malibu Canyon like a blowtorch. And so they're in harm's way every time there's a fire over there. It's a beautiful area, but with all the trees and the landscaping, it's dangerous.
The cause of the fire is being investigated. but a powerful Santa Ana windstorm is driving its spread. Fire danger is high across a broad swath of Southern California, but weather conditions are forecast to improve today. A judge rejected the sale of Infowars to The Onion. That's our fifth story. At a private auction last month, the satirical news site made the winning bid for Infowars. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones was forced to sell the platform to help pay roughly $1.5 billion in damages. He owes that much to families of the victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. They sued him for defamation after he falsely claimed the 2012 massacre was a hoax. But yesterday, a judge ruled that the auction lacked transparency and said that The Onion's winning bid was not enough money. Number 6. The U.S. moved to add the monarch butterfly to the endangered species list. These iconic butterflies are famous for their marathon migration across North America, but they are increasingly at risk because of factors like herbicides, climate change, farming, and logging. Officials say that if nothing is done, the monarch is likely to vanish for good from the continent. So yesterday, they took a step to protect it under the Endangered Species Act. If it's finalized, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's proposal would designate the orange and black butterfly as threatened with extinction. That could have enormous consequences for landowners across the species' huge range. But federal scientists say the move is necessary for the monarch's survival. And there could be many more proposals like this in the future. Monarchs are among an estimated 1 million plants and animals at risk of extinction. And at number 7, the U.S. could soon push to get rid of daylight saving time, and that could have a big impact on your life. Incoming Trump administration advisors Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy posted recently in favor of ditching daylight saving time. It's not an entirely new idea. In 2022, the Senate advanced a plan to make daylight saving time permanent. Either move would get rid of the twice-a-year clock changes, and it would probably be pretty popular. Almost 2/3 of Americans say they want to ditch the time changes. But the country may be too spread out for a one-size-pleases-all solution. Depending on your latitude and how close you are to the edge of your time zone, you could end up with some weirdly early or really late sunsets. In our newsletter today, we have a tool which shows you how early or late your county would be in the dark throughout the year. Just follow the link in our show notes. All right, you're all caught up. But before we go, a quick correction from yesterday's episode. Trump's defense secretary pick, Pete Hegseth, was in the Army National Guard, not the Marines. We apologize for the error, and thanks to our listener Avery who spotted the mistake. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.